Hello students, in today's video we'll be teaching you how to attack in the Ruy Lopez Opening, also known as the Spanish game. We're going to focus on the middle game when you have your army developed and are looking to strike at your opponent. The position in front of you is a typical one for Ruy Lopez, and the game we will now see was played by legendary Anatoly Karpov. The last move that Black played was pawn to c5, and I recommend pausing the video and thinking how would you play from this position if you had the white pieces. Alright, so what is fairly typical is that after Black has played the move c5, White is looking to play d5 with or without taking on c5 at first. Now typically, if the Black's pawn is still on c7, we rarely want to play d5 because Black would be creating counterplay by playing c7 to c6, attacking this pawn, and if we trade on c6, there will be this pressure that's going to start occurring against e4 pawn. However, after Black has played c5, we very often like the move d5. You could play d5 right away without the capture. This would make sure that the dark square bishop of Black's is really passive at the moment. Now, if we take on c5, which happened in our game, then we can play d5. The bishop is slightly bit more open. Perhaps it has d6 square, and after c4, it's even possible maybe to go to c5. But on the other hand, we do obtain a protected pass pawn over here. Now, Black in this position played the move knight to a4, and here I would like you to pause again and try to identify a positional threat that Black is creating with this move. So what Black wants in this position is to play c4, followed by knight or bishop to c5. So if you want, you can pause the video and think what Karpov played here with the white pieces. He played c4. That's the move that prevents Black from playing the pawn move to c4. We're also threatening to take on b5, and now Black has played b4. This is a fantastic moment to pause again and think about follow-up plan, how White can continue to attack right now with the white pieces. This is a very important moment. Now that there is no tension in the center and center has been closed, we can move the play to one of the wings and start attacking on the queen side or the king side. This is a very important concept that without really stability of the center, we rarely in Ruy Lopez than most other openings, we can allow ourselves to attack on the wing. So now White plays rook to f1 and prepares pawn break f4 with a subsequent kingside attack. Black played queen to c7, White goes f4. Now how do we usually and typically evaluate such moves? Well, if Black takes and can establish a piece on e5 and maintain it there, that would be great for Black. If you could just exchange this pawn with something, well, after we take. And let's say he had already bishop on d6 and knight on e5. Typically, Black is doing fine in those positions. What Black plays is knight to d7, and perhaps now in this position they're ready to take, play bishop d6, and get that control over those squares. However, at this moment, Karpov knew what's in the mind of Blacks, and he played the move queen to c2 at first, just winning a tempo against the knight. And now f5 in order to prevent this pawn takes f4 and subsequent blockade on d6 and e5 squares. Black played knight to f6, White goes knight to e2, and he can allow himself now to pawn storm on the king side and continue the attack. The center is closed, we have more space on the king side, which gives us more room to move most of our pieces to the right side of the board. Remember, what is a king side attack? It's when one side has potential to bring more stuff to that part of the board, and that a lot of times stems from extra space that we have. Black played knight e2, bishop e2, bishop d6, g4, Karpov is coming at the Black's king. So Black decided to run with the king in this position, trying to move it to the left side. You can see White is overextending on the king side. Really beautiful attack. This bishop to g4 is also very nice, cutting off some escape squares from the king. After we're at some point gonna be playing f6, then the bishop is going to be super duper active. Remember that all along that was our bad bishop because it's the same color as our pawns in the center that are fixed. Rook to g8, king to f2, preparing to open up the g and h files. Now we can play rook h1 at any moment. That was the idea behind the move of the king. Queen to d1. And the Black's king, as you can see, tries to find shelter on the other side of the board. But Karpov, knowing this, a masterpiece game really and a genius player, he finds a way to open up the queen side with a3. That is fairly typical. for the positions with space advantage, just opening up the other front. Now white is able to get in, and black's king will be in danger. See, queen e1, what kind of crucial squares white is taking under control. Black is making panic moves, and here white is completely winning. Black resigned. If you enjoyed the video, consider hiring me as your personal online chess coach. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next class.